Welcome to Load Bearing Beams, a Mortal Kombat podcast where we talk about a different Mortal Kombat character every week, going on week 79, talking about Mortal Kombat.
Get out of here.
I'm Matt Stokes.
I'm Lacey Roth.
Just kidding. We're a movie podcast.
Oh my God, surprise.
The two of us, Lacey and I, we're married to each other. We've been married for 12 years.
Surprise.
Yep. Some people don't know that. They're like, why do they talk to each other like that?
Why does the loud female one hate the other loud one?
That's something I ask our therapist all the time.
We don't have a therapist.
Just kidding.
We might should.
We might should. This is our therapy. Every week we talk about a movie that one of us loves from a long time ago. Certainly the case with this week's entry, Mortal Kombat, my movie. This is the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. And when I watch it, I realized like, oh, this was definitely a huge movie for me. Some of the quotes in the movie, I'm like, oh, I don't realize that quote comes from this movie.
Like what?
Like, I know what I smell. Bullshit.
Oh, you're always saying it to me.
I'm never saying it, but I always think about it. Like I hear that cadence in my head.
Yeah.
Of Bridget Wilson Sampras's line reading right there.
Oh, what an actress.
Mortal Kombat 1995. Now, longtime fans of Load Bearing Beams might be saying, but wait a minute, you already covered this movie. And not like in your early days, kind of in your mid.
Party foul.
Like post-COVID, 2021, we covered this movie. But.
What?
That episode's less than 30 minutes long.
What if this one is less than 30 minutes long?
Then the universe will be telling us something, but what I'll take that as is we need to try again.
Okay.
I feel like this movie owes a lot more care than what we gave it back then.
I didn't listen to the episode.
Neither did I.
Since we did it, so.
But you hated the movie back then.
That doesn't sound like me.
Here we go. We're going to talk about Mortal Kombat 1995. But first, if you go to our social media accounts, that means Twitter, Load Bearing Pod, Blue Sky, Load Bearing Beams, TikTok for now, load.bearing.beams, Instagram, Load Bearing Beams. You can get our bonus video. We do a bonus video every week. This week, the bonus video is this. We enlisted some listeners to submit their listener choices, and we entered them all in a raffle, and you can watch us spin the wheel, find out what we're covering on our January 31st episode.
What a bonus.
Yes.
What a treat.
Well,
it's a wheel.
Okay.
This fucking guy. I'm looking at a picture of Raiden right now, and everyone's probably like, yes, Raiden. Oh, yes, Raiden. Of course I know who that is.
This movie.
Comment if I'm wrong, bitches.
Wait a minute. This movie and this intellectual property is huge.
Are huge,
sure. You don't think so?
I don't know. Everyone knows what it is.
This movie was a big hit. It was a cable classic, a VHS classic. Plus, there was a reboot 4 years ago that not many people saw, but it was, still pandemic days. And allegedly, there's a sequel coming out later this year.
Well, is it good or not?
The remake?
Yes, Matt.
No, the remake's not good. And I watched it again yesterday. I liked it slightly more than I liked it 4 years ago, but I still think it doesn't hold a candle to the old movie. Both like the bare minimum amount of character development done in this movie, like dwarfs the amount of character development done in the new movie. The new movie is like character by committee, like plucky young hero.
No backstory.
No,
It's even flatter. That's all you had to say.
It's even flatter.
At least this movie is it's cute. It's cute how much they tried something. I don't know. It's got quirky badness, I guess. I don't know that it's so bad it's good, but there's charm to what is bad.
It's not that. Here's what it is. It's vibes. Mortal Kombat is a vibe.
Is it?
It's 90s scuzz. It's, fog machines. It's like spider webs and
scuzz.
Yeah, scuzz, slime, grime.
Oh. Sleazoids.
Sleazoids, yes. That's what this movie has in spades. 90s charm. You said this.
Yeah.
You said this while we watched the movie.
Okay.
You said,
scuzz.
It's just like watching the video game, but it's a movie.
Right. And there's something very like, I'm hoping the Minecraft movie is like that. I'm already devastated it won't be. But like, if I truly love a video game, especially like a simple one, I think it's pretty cool to like dive into your TV and then turn this way and see what the character's seeing. And so, this movie set out to have all of the most used, plays, or even all of the characters, I don't know, it's been a while since I played it, saying all of their catchphrases in the most organic way they could get him in there in every scene that you could have picked in the game, and it achieved. I think it's a little clunky with how it gets you from thing to thing, jumping through wormholes and such.
It delivers on what is promised, and it's like it looks at Mortal Kombat the game and it asks, why do people like this, and it tries to translate that to film. If it didn't have fighting, just straightforward, hey, get in this ring, let's fight, there would be something unsatisfying about that.
Sure, but I guess there's movies like Jumanji where people get sucked into a game, and I guess they don't do a good enough job of telling me, like, in the reality of this world, before they got pulled into this Mortal Kombat island, were they seeing things that break our world's natural physics? Like, do they live in a world of magic? And so when they see it, they're just like, oh, that's a magic guy. Or like, I feel like they're not blown away enough by the weird transition. Like, why did I bring up Jumanji? Because they're responding correctly to learning new things that are possible.
Maybe that's why what I find charming about it is that when they see that the reality of the universe isn't what they thought, they're not that perturbed by it. They accept it very quickly. And having just watched the remake, that's all the remake is. Like, you're telling me there's an alternate reality called Outworld? I don't know.
I mean, that's boring too. I just mean that there's some kind of balance of that Luke Cage specifically is not totally...
Liu Kang.
No, then I mean Johnny Cage. I don't mean Liu Kang. When I say Cage, I mean Cage. I mean the white guy.
Let's talk about our histories with Mortal Kombat. We already did an episode on this movie. Forget the old time we watched this movie. Had you ever seen this movie before?
No.
Okay. What about the games? Did you ever play the games?
Yes, very familiar with the game and all the... We'll often ask someone to get over here. And in my head, there was one that just said, finish him.
That's the end of every fight.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I played it a lot. I had a Sega.
You had a Sega. Okay.
Yeah. This and Tekken.
That's what I was going to ask. Was this an arcade situation? Was this a Sega?
I'm sure I played it there
Nintendo
too.
Family?
I love fighting games. Because you didn't have to know what you were doing. And there wasn't any puzzles to solve. It's just like, did I win this one? I did. Did I win this one? No.
And I think they intentionally made it very user-friendly with this game. You get the hang of it very, very quickly. I definitely cared way more about this movie than the games, although I did have one of the games. I had Mortal Kombat 3 for Super Nintendo. But for me, it was the movie. I loved the mythology of the movie. I loved the characters. I thought it was so fucking cool. And it was probably one of the earlier PG-13 movies I got to see.
How old were you?
This came out in 95. I would have been 11. No, I wouldn't be. I would have been 8. No, how old am I? Yes, I would have been 8.
I'd say you're the target market then. I mean, it hit you perfectly.
Yes, it hits you where you're below 13, but you're like, this is a grown-up movie. This movie. They're saying bullshit. And
There's blood and skeletons. Bloody skeletons sometimes.
And then the sequel, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, came out 2 years later. I read the novelization of that movie. And even though I saw that movie in theaters, in my head, I still forget that it actually came out in theaters, that it wasn't straight to video, because it's a situation where only 2 of the original cast members returned.
Who were they, Matt?
Liu Kang and
I think
Princess
you mean
Kitana.
Johnny Kang. Sorry.
And Princess Kitana were the only ones who came back. And
did they have a romance?
They did. They sure did. Now, and then I went, many, many, many years without seeing the movie, without seeing Mortal Kombat, probably until we did our show 4 years ago. And I gave this movie 3 stars on Letterboxd back then. My reaction was like, this is a perfectly fine movie. Now, this time.
Oh, God.
This is a movie where I'm just beaming. I'm like,
you were very happy. You were very happy.
But I will say, that's how I am for the first 30 minutes of the movie. And I liken it to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where it's like, I can't wait to get to that factory. Ooh, I can't wait to get to the Mortal Kombat tournament. And yet, once the thing actually starts, the air is out of the balloon a little bit.
Yes, you're totally right. It's like, oh, this is it. Oh, too much buildup. And I'd say that the fight sequences are slightly too long to keep the attention of most people if you're not a total action person.
I think they're very, very well done. Technically, they're kind of unsatisfying in terms of the narrative of the movie.
Yeah.
First 30 minutes, I'm pumping my fist. This is so much fun. This movie knows exactly what it is, exactly how not seriously to take all of this. And the actors are so all the actors, they get the pitch of the movie. And then once the fighting starts, then it becomes a little more serious,
melodramatic
martial arts movie, which is well done, but I'm not on that same high that I'm on for the first 30 minutes. So
yes,
I ultimately kind of feel the same way about the movie. It's much better than a movie like this has a right to be, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm not a nostalgic person. If I loved something as a kid and I watch it as an adult and it sucks, I say it. I always say it. And I would not say that about this movie. I think this is a perfectly fine movie. And now let's talk about the history of the movie itself in our history segment. We'll start with the video game itself.
I appreciate you doing this.
This video game series is credited as being created by Ed Boon and John Tobias. Now, I don't know shit about video games, and I especially don't know anything about how they're made or the history of the industry. So when I see created by, I don't know if this is a case where it's like it's controversial that these people get credit. I'm sure there's a whole team of people who should get credit also, but that's just who is credited as the creators. And I know as a kid, I assumed this is like Mario or all the other video games I'm familiar with. This is a Japanese video game that they took over to America and translated it into English. But no, it's American. It starts in America, and it's a pastiche of all these Asian cultures and mythologies. So the first game was released to arcades in 1992, later went over to home consoles, and then the sequel came out in 93. They were both huge. The first two games formed the basis for the plot of this movie that we're talking about. A novelty of the game was that it used digitized photos for the characters rather than animation. And it was notably violent. There was lots of blood, and this was controversial. So the movie. I'm using as my source the 2015 oral history of this movie from The Hollywood Reporter by Aaron Couch. It is interviews with almost everyone except for the screenwriter, and I feel like he's definitely a missing voice, and there's not much information I can find about the screenwriter. But there's also things that I have questions about, like the Johnny Cage and Scorpion fight is very weird. It seems like it was done in reshoots, but I can't find any information about that.
Yeah, it looks very much like it's in the Temple of Doom, like a Nickelodeon set, a game show. A lot of the sets are fun, though. They feel like I want to give you a version of a video game, and here it is. I mean, they feel as fake as they seem like they should.
Yeah.
I know that's not what you're talking about.
They start off in this forest that you otherwise never see, and you don't see how he got there. It's totally disconnected from everything else.
And I think that's because there is a trees setting. Like, there is a place where you go and fight in trees in the game. So they had to put him there, but yeah, they don't do a good job. Like, I mean, if all of your best friends that you've just made on this island, otherwise you're alone, are all watching a fight and fighting, why, Johnny Cage, are you in the forest?
Just wandering around the forest, yes.
In a grove. And
because it's not disconnected to anything else, you don't see him leave. It's never mentioned again. It has no consequences on anything else. It makes me wonder, was this added? Did they think we don't have enough for Johnny Cage to do?
That's interesting, because I find most of the sequences just kind of happen. They need to fight again. They need to fight again in another place. There need to be flags on the beach. There needs to be a ring on the beach. There needs to be a cafeteria.
That's another thing. I mean, you would hope. I think the script is the weak part about the movie.
Yeah,
you would wish that each fight is part of building your understanding of the characters and where they're going, but it's not really that.
It's not, and it's like some of them are just part of the place, and then the fight happens. But then the whole point of the island is that they're going to have matches, but for some reason fights keep breaking out that are outside of those matches, and it's like, who's got the rule book here, and can we enforce it? And I mean, when do these characters get to sleep?
And where do they go to the bathroom? And where do they shower? I'm always worried about showers.
I'm always worried about pooping and peeping.
Yeah, and deodorant. And it wasn't until I watched Lost in the first season of Lost in 2004 that a character mentions we're almost out of deodorant. And I was like, finally, a stranded island movie or show acknowledges my greatest fear.
And anything on a beach, and I'm wondering why no one is talking about sunblock.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
It's a big deal.
I know.
You'd just be
agree.
blistered. You'd have cancer. You'd be wrinkled. No one would want to find you.
So the producer, Larry Kasanoff, he was a James Cameron collaborator. Apparently he was involved in the merchandising for Terminator 2 and was involved in the arcade game of same, and it was a big hit. So he was visiting some friends at Midway Games in 1993. Midway is the developer that makes the Mortal Kombat games. So he was shown the Mortal Kombat arcade cabinet, and he started playing it, and he was enamored and thought it had movie potential. So quote from Larry Kasanoff, quote, "I played the Mortal Kombat arcade game in their office for half an hour. I turned to the Midway Games chief, Neil D. Nicastro, and I said, this is Star Wars meets Enter the Dragon. This is not just an arcade game. This is a whole phenomenon. I said, if you give me the rights to this, I promise you I will produce this, not just in movies, but in every medium in the world. He looked at me and said, you're full of crap. It's just an arcade game. That began a 3-month process of me trying to convince them that it was more than just an arcade game. They didn't believe it because video game movies had recently failed. Like Mario Brothers, no one believed it. I finally wore them down and they optioned the rights to me for an insanely short amount of time, which now I would never do, but it was my first deal at my company," end quote. So that's the other thing is video game movies. This is a new thing. Video games are, have been around a long time, but Nintendo takes off in the 80s. The idea that these can be mined for movies. Mario Brothers in 93 was the big failure. And
I feel like they still haven't successfully done Mario, but I know people disagree.
Successful in financial terms, though.
No, like right. I know, just like a really entertaining Mario movie. Still.
No, that movie sucks. But the movie that came out, the Illumination movie from 2 years ago, was like
20 times better.
But it was the idea of like, people love Mario. We have to give them the most faithful, boring.
Yeah.
Just here's what you play in your game. This is now it on screen. And people reacted like, we love it. That's all we ever wanted. And it made $1 billion. But the original Mario Brothers movie was like, the idea was we can't literally put this on screen. We have to be very, very loose with what we're doing.
It was just about the two brothers, right? And plumbing.
Well, it's like this steampunk thing with real dinosaurs and.
Oh, maybe I'm not remembering it at all. It's shocking.
The Street Fighter, the movie, had come out the year before Mortal Kombat, and it was way less of a literal adaptation. It was also a lot goofier, and I think the idea was, can we make
goofier?
Have you seen the Street Fighter movie?
I don't know.
I just watched it for the first time. It is.
Can you show me some scenes from it? Like not just some pictures, not video. Because I think that I thought this was going to be that.
Raul Julia from Addams Family is the main villain. He's really good in it, but Jean-Claude Van Damme is the.
No, I've not seen this.
Yeah, it's more of a campy, silly movie.
It looks a little more Power Rangers ish.
Yeah, he this guy in the oral history, Kasanoff is like positioning him as the visionary who saw the future. Video game movies, it's gonna be huge. Quote, I never thought we were making a movie based on the video game. I always thought what we had to do was imply that the video game is the first incarnation of some story that exists sort of one up the pyramid. I always thought there's a story that exists and the first incarnation of that story was the video game. Now let's go back to that story and see how we can craft a movie from that. It doesn't contradict the video game. It adds to it. End quote. It's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely was a visionary in that he saw that video games would become movies in a way, just not that they'd become movies inside of the video game itself. I mean, I feel like that's really the way video games have evolved, is playing a video game is more like playing in a real world in a movie.
So this project was picked up by New Line Cinema, and they hired as their director Paul W.S. Anderson. He is credited as Paul Anderson on this movie because this was before the more successful Paul Thomas Anderson broke out onto the scene. But Mr. Anderson, British filmmaker known for his debut movie Shopping in 1994. That movie got him the job on Mortal Kombat, but he is a relatively inexperienced filmmaker, and they had not actually settled on a script. The script was ultimately written by Kevin Droney, and as I said before, he's not interviewed in the oral history. There are some people in the oral history who said he wasn't happy with what they did with his script, but they also don't seem happy with his script itself. Paul W.S. Anderson would go on to direct Event Horizon, Resident Evil.
Oh, that's why he's with her. Mila Jovovich.
She is Mila Jovovich, and she is his wife, and like his muse. She's in all of his movies.
Was she in this movie?
No, not this movie. But he has a movie coming out in March starring her and Dave Bautista, based on a George R.R. Martin short story, which like kind of exciting to me. So who's gonna play Liu Kang, the lead of the movie?
Well, they definitely have to put the meat of the action and what is like the real draw of this movie on someone who knows what they're doing. And I think they did a good job. He's definitely the best part of the movie.
And you know, it's not the huge budget movie, but it's a big Hollywood production, and they're gonna put at the center of it an Asian person, and that's not necessarily something that Hollywood is always doing. But because of that, they went on a very extensive casting search that led them to Robin Shou, who was a Hong Kong American actor raised in America, but had spent his past decade or so in Hong Kong, very successful in the Hong Kong film industry. As an actor, a martial artist, and a stuntman, he made 40 movies in Hong Kong before he went over to Hollywood. So,
yeah, he is ripped.
So Robin Shou said, quote, "It was the toughest casting process. I was working in Hong Kong back then, but I was visiting the U.S. because I'm from here originally. A friend of mine from an agency says they're casting for this movie Mortal Kombat. At first I laughed because Mortal Kombat is the dumbest name. Mortal Kombat, a video game turned into a movie? A good friend of mine kept hounding me saying, you should really go for this, meet for them. I read 7 times. My agent friend had never heard of anyone who had to read 7 times. I had to read for the producers, the director, the casting director, the line producer, and then my final reading was with New Line. They were really hands-on as far as picking this Asian Liu Kang because he's an Asian lead and they're investing millions. It was grueling." End quote. Yeah, especially like now you have to meet with the studio after all of that. Like you can tell that's like, I don't know about this, but it's supposed to be an Asian character. You're going to get an Asian person no matter what, but they're
right. Why do you have to abuse the one that's doing the best?
Yeah, but it seems like because of his experience in the industry doing martial arts movies, he really helped Anderson direct the fight scenes.
That's good.
Because Anderson had never done it before. And like Robin Shou talks about how he had to teach him things like for Robin Shou's first fight scene, he said they shot the whole sequence in a master shot like several times, and then he had to take him aside and he's like, that's not what you do. You're going to kill us. You only have to do your master shot for the 2 seconds you're going to use it, because otherwise you're cutting away. You're cutting up to close-ups. You're cutting up to our limbs. You're cutting to impacts. So he like didn't know these very basic things.
I don't understand.
Okay, so you set up your camera to get both actors in full frame. Ultimately, you're only going to use a few seconds of that. So you decide ahead of time, what do you want them to do, rather than just saying, guys, just do the whole thing. I'll just watch you do the whole thing a few times.
Yeah.
And he said like, no, we're going to die if you keep making us do this. So very simple things like that. He had to help him out. But what about the others? So they cast Lyndon Ashby as Johnny Cage, and they gave him a lot of leash to improv his dialogue. He came up with, thank God he didn't park the car, and those were $500 sunglasses, asshole. There's generally a lot of improv on this movie. I think especially in the first 30 minutes, and that's probably why I like that section the best, because like Liu Kang is such an asshole, but he's so happy. He's having so much fun being an asshole to him. It seems they're kind of improving. And to play Sonya Blade, they get Cameron Diaz because she is New Line is mid-production on The Mask, and they show the Mortal Kombat crew the dailies from that movie, and they see Cameron Diaz. They're like, this is a movie star. So they cast her, and she starts getting martial arts training, but she gets injured during training.
Do you know her injury? What is injured?
No, I don't.
Man.
So they bring in Bridget Wilson. She said she also had to audition 7 times, but she got the role finally when production on Billy Madison wrapped. So it was like them seeing like, oh, okay, like another big movie likes her, so we'll trust her.
Mistake.
She too did all of her own stunts in fighting.
I would fucking hope so. She does 4 things, and all of them are in slow motion. She tires herself out while shadow boxing and just like warming up, just going, ha, yeah.
Quote, I did all my own stunts and all my own fighting, which was awesome. I didn't have as long to prepare as everyone else did because they were able to work with the trainers for a few weeks prior to filming. Luckily, they pushed my big fight scene with Kano to the end when we were in Thailand filming. So I had the duration of filming to train during lunch or off times. end quote. So, I mean,
I guess if I'm thinking of her as doing all of it, that's really her all the time. That's much more interesting.
And that the others were probably cast well in advance, and so they had a lot of time to work up to this, whereas they sign her and then ship her off to Thailand.
They didn't explain to her what a person who's doing special ops is that always has their gun out like this with their stupid hat, who is like just being not quiet or stealth at all, but her whole job is to like find the bad guy. But she's like, he's over there.
I'm looking for the bad guy.
I'm looking for the man with the thing. And she's just beating up people at a concert to get to him.
Huh. Where's Kano? You did not care for this performance at all. You were very angry at her the whole movie.
It's clunky.
It's not great. I agree with you.
And her face never gets out of that one position. She's got a very distinctive, like, not pleased face, and it is all kinds of pointy. And I can't do it. It's like a double rock. I can't, like the rock twice, just like, I can't do my eyebrows like that. But she's displeased most of the movie, so she just looks like that. It's like, relax your face. Relax your face.
I mean, she has a lot to be displeased about.
Fine, but other people's faces aren't that severe, and they have more than just one look. She just has a very unique face.
It is,
structure.
Like she is supposed to be a badass, and so the way they communicate that is that she's displeased all the time.
Right, she's just constantly pissy. And it's like, look, you're already on this island. You got a couple people who seem to like you, okay? Well, how about every single time you talk to me, go, look, asshole, back off. I don't need any help. And so you haven't spoken in 45 minutes, and you're still that hot?
Until she's not. Until she's suddenly like, you're my best friends. It's like, but I didn't see the scene where you realized that you like them.
No, right. And the freaking dramatic, I can't have that happen to you, from fucking Johnny Cage that comes out of nowhere. And she's like, ew.
On a sun-drenched beach.
In silhouette, nearly.
And then she gets kidnapped. She's like, my friends will come for me.
Yes, we're best friends. And they haven't seen me naked yet. And so this Barbarella look I've got is going to be pretty exciting for them, I think. The Highlander. Okay, you've got a picture of the Highlander guy.
In a cast of unknowns, the big name was Christopher Lambert.
Jesus Christ.
What?
It takes a while to like this guy.
Now,
when he just fucking comes out of nowhere, he sounds like he's a voiceover, but it's just him walking up to a group of monks and he's just this white guy with this crazy hair, but don't worry, he's not white savior guy, he's a god, so it's okay that he's going to like tell all these people here what to do. It's just not that, coupled with the fact that Liu Kang does not get to be like more of a love triangle. So I think that would have been more interesting if there was like a who's gonna get Sonya kind of a thing. No, they have to introduce an Asian person, otherwise it's not okay that Liu Kang has a love interest.
Yeah, that's
it's super freaking racist. Well, and they had an Asian lead. They can't also. Don't worry, guys. He's not going to get the white girl. Whew, that would have been just a bridge too far.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that because they have the thing with Katana. Although they had a more explicit romance with them, but then they deleted it.
They should have swapped them.
I think that. So well, I mean, yes, I'm sure it is at basis like, well, we can't have him go with the white.
But I mean, it had to be that because it sounds like they were so fucking nervous about millions of dollars being sent on an Asian lead.
Yeah.
Ugh, what a nightmare.
Yeah. In like the video game mythology, Liu Kang is also the chosen one and the big hero. So I think that they feel like, well, he has to get with Katana because she represents the aristocracy of the other side, trying to lead them to like the light. So in that way,
okay,
they need to have him committed to that. Yeah, I'm sure, but I'm sure the actual explanation is racism. Raiden in the games is an Asian man. The video game producer said, you never actually see his face that clearly in the game.
He just has that hat.
So, it's okay. I mean, yeah, it sucks that a character in the games who is Asian gets cast as a white person. But I do love this performance. I love Lambert. You've never seen Highlander.
No, I haven't.
And
it's so bizarre.
A credit to
I'm a god. Hello.
The wonderful podcast We Hate Movies loves Christopher Lambert. They're always doing his voice, and so
you do it.
I'm sure I will also do. Hi, my name is Reed. It's Peter Lorre or Vincent Price, basically. But like they love him and they love his performances so much that when they did an episode on the new Mortal Kombat where Raiden is portrayed as an Asian man, but still they were doing the Christopher Lambert voice for him because that's all that they can do.
I end up really liking him, but it is jarring that he seems to always appear out of nowhere. He's just sitting on something. I think they're trying to give this like impression of he's a god. He can pop in and out. He's made of lightning. But they only show you him get away inside of a lightning flash once. And so the rest of the time it's just like, did they forget he was in this scene? They just like pan over. It's like, I thought you'd never make it over here. I don't know.
They had him for a more limited amount of time. He was the most expensive member of the cast. And like, he's the big name in the set, but still it's like, well, you're the star of Highlander. Now he's a big deal in France. I know that. He's like one of their biggest, most respected actors
what does
in
he
America.
Talk like there?
I meant to look up a clip.
God, I have to know.
What does his voice sound like in French? Je m'appelle Chris. So here's a quote from Mr. Lambert. I had lunch with Paul Anderson and Larry Kasanoff, and they offered me the part. They gave me the script, and it was a fun script. Before I said yes, I watched Paul's first movie, which was great. Then with the hat, the robe, the white hair, all this was obviously building the character. In the movie, because of his powers, he doesn't need to train to practice. This was also good. It was the one and only action movie you didn't have to train for.
And they're not going to look at my body at all. I don't have to be ripped.
Right. But it's funny. In Highlander, the role in Highlander that describes is Sean Connery. Sean Connery's in that movie. He only filmed for a week, and it is a performance where he's just standing or sitting the whole time. But it's like, good job, Highlander.
I also talk gravelly and weird.
And he's the sort of mystical, old, slightly elusive kind of trickster god.
All right.
But this guy, I just love his energy. I love...
he seems like he's having a good time.
Yes.
He seems like a nice guy.
And he's constantly saying, hey, that's his vocal tick. Everything he says, he has a, hey. But in this movie, at least he goes, sorry. Your planet is doomed. I'm sorry. This movie was a big hit. It earned $125 million worldwide against a $20 million budget.
That paid for the boat.
Oh, there you go.
Some leaky boat. Bitch, it's a fucking amazing, mythical, weird... This ain't a leaky boat.
There are a lot of lines where they're like, they see some incredible...
Right, some architecture, some like impossible thing. He's made of fucking lightning.
And somebody will just say, you gotta be kidding me.
That's what I'm saying. Except for like fucking Johnny Cage will land on a skeleton and be like, ow, but you just fought one. You just touched one.
Skeleton.
You just punched one. Then you laid on it and now it's gross. You need some consistency, Johnny. Johnny.
This movie's great. Let's now talk about the movie itself.
Mortal Kombat! Now you do the rest.
Movie.
Sweet dreams are made of...
I wrote in my notes, no foreplay at all. Just jumps in and fucks you with its giant dick.
As soon as it does that, I'm like... Because you were like, it's already good. And I'm like, I'm going off of your energy. And I'm thinking, I was like... I think this might be the guy Spice World, because I feel like Spice World also just opens with, I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. And it's like, yeah, we're going to do fucking Spice Girls in a van the whole time. I thought you liked Spice World.
Oh, yeah. Spice World episode coming, definitely. The only problem is it's not streaming. Probably for music license reasons, but that's weird. I like for people to get to watch the movie when we cover it. But yeah, I'd love to talk about Spice World, a movie that when I saw it in theaters, I said that's the funniest movie I've ever seen.
See, but wait, am I wrong? I haven't seen it in 30 years, and I feel like it comes out the gate just like this movie was like, we're British. Let's get a double-decker bus.
Nope. I will tell you how that movie opens. It opens in a studio with them singing their ballad, Too Much of Something. It's just as just enough.
That's how. Got it.
Well, I think I feel about this movie the way you feel about Dirty Dancing or something. I'm just like...
That one does come out No, because it comes out with fucking narration voiceover. I'm just saying, I was trying to think of another movie that just starts this way. I mean, it starts in the way you think this movie's going to end. It's like, nope, We're doing closing time at the beginning of the concert and the end of the concert.
Oh, yes. Limp Bizkit is doing that with break stuff these days. They open and close their shows
what
with
about,
it.
Faith is obviously the best fucking song. That is rude.
I think that I would have agreed with you until I
watched it in Y2K movie.
We saw the Kyle Mooney's movie Y2K, and then my Spotify algorithm is fucked because sometimes I listen to music I like, and a lot of times I just listen to new metal. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, is there an incognito mode I can go on? Anyway, I listened to most of Limp Bizkit's big hits, and I was like, no, Break Stuff is definitely the best song.
Yeah, I mean, Faith relies too much on Fred Durst like singing for real, which isn't great.
Yeah.
But the parts that are great are the best thing ever.
I think break your fucking face tonight. That's always going to be satisfying.
No. Get the fuck up.
That's the only
best part. No, it is a pretty good lay where you know an orgasm's coming and you're like, this has been pretty enjoyable. Best orgasm ever! That's
what it was in my memory. Now, here's another thing about that movie Y2K is it has a whole crowd singing Faith. Although they do the George Michael version in that movie.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I've never heard him actually sing the chorus.
No, he sings the chorus in his song too.
No, he doesn't. He screams it. He doesn't sing it like George Michael in the studio
chorus.
version.
I'm sorry, the chorus.
But when I was in 6th grade at parties, the whole
party. You went to parties
I
and
did.
say fucker and birthday parties.
My private school. Well, yeah, they were birthday parties. No, we would also have.
We'd party with a bounce house and juice box.
Yeah. And the whole 6th grade, all 12 of us would all sing. I guess it would be nice if I could touch. Yes. Anyway.
Oh, right. Mortal Kombat.
This movie opens so confidently. The first 10 seconds are so confident. Just open the movie with that song. And it's so loud and just hitting you right away. I think techno music also just activates me in a way that I didn't realize.
I need to see Blade then. I want to see you activated.
I don't remember that having techno music.
Really? Is there not a whole techno death scene with blood?
That sounds right.
Yeah. I've never seen it.
It's very good. I've only seen it once.
All right.
I worked at a laser tag for 4 years, and so I heard Mortal Kombat and songs like this over and over and over again for 4 years. So
I went to raves, so I heard it a few times.
Then we cut to a temple or something with very intimidating Shang Tsung, the villain of the movie, and he's just destroying this poor little guy. And then he points directly into the camera and he says, "Your brother's soul is mine, and you will be next."
And he knows that it's real finally because he dreamt that, and then he gets we don't know. He doesn't get a phone call or anything. He just goes there and he's like, "So where'd my brother die?"
It is a strength of this movie that a lot of stuff is not explained.
Fine.
I don't want to get bogged down in all of
Let's not get bogged down.
Not you and I'm saying I don't want the movie to get so bogged down. But how did Liu Kang learn about this? That's not true. He then he's dreaming about this because he saw the telegram from his grandfather telling him that his brother died. He's in America. His whole family's back in China.
Know that.
And he just feels residual guilt. Let me say this. Shang Tsung played by Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa, and this performance is so much fun.
It is deliciously evil.
Yes, he understands the assignment perfectly.
Yes. That I need everyone to understand the assignment.
Yes, but he's a great physical performer, as we see in his fight scene at the end of the movie. But until then, he is great at being a sinister, mustache twirling villain.
Yes,
and he loves being evil.
That's delicious.
So then we get some glorious 90s scuzz when we go to this club in Hong Kong, and Sonya Blade.
Her fucking outfit, man. Why is she dressed like that? She looks like a little soldier, but it's like, you're freelance. You work for yourself. You don't have to pick this outfit. You look like a fucking mime busboy. I hate what she's wearing.
You know who disagrees with you? Steve Jobs.
Yeah, no, he doesn't wear the stupid hat. It's the fucking hat. I'm okay with the turtleneck.
She's special forces and her partner Jax. They're just marching through a club, and
you know she's a fucking private investigator and she just like does research and stuff. But then her partner gets killed, and now she's like, "I need a Uzi. I'm a special force." She just looks like she's LARPing. She sucks at being special. I don't like her.
They're making their way through this mid-90s club
by hitting people.
At a certain point, they end up shooting a guy, and no one in the club notices because they're too busy dancing. I love it. But we see Kano talking to Shang Tsung, and he's like, "You gotta lure Sonya to the ship. Are you sure she'll follow me?"
You sure, mate? Right.
Oh, she'll follow you. And then, and again, this movie's just trucking along. It is hurtling through all of this. We meet Johnny Cage entering a warehouse or something. We don't know that this is a movie.
Right. And we're sure that, or do we know if he's doing his own fighting?
Okay.
He's good. Mm-hmm. He does his splits.
He's very good. Oh, he's very good.
Oh,
so
he wears his sunglasses twice. Okay. In my head, I'm like, okay, they really shoehorned those sunglasses in out of fucking nowhere. And then you showed me the little screenshot of the video games. Like, of course, this character's known for his sunglasses,
Yes.
and they forgot to use them. You're on a beach. You're on an island. You could have used them the whole time.
that's a good time to use your sunglasses.
Yeah.
So he's confronting all these well-dressed goons, and he's like, let's dance. And it's funny because you don't know you're watching a movie, and you're like, this is a little too, it is a movie. He's an actor. And he tells one of the goons doesn't fall down, and he says, this is where you fall down, and then the goon drops down. Now, as a kid, I didn't understand what just happened. I was like, that's his catchphrase. This is where you fall down.
Right.
And that caused the guy to fall down.
I think it's good. I like it.
Then we zoom out. It's a movie shoot, and the director is dressed like Steven Spielberg.
Yes,
in fact, in the script, this was Steven Spielberg. And Steven Spielberg, who was a big video game dork, said, I'd love to be in your movie. He's been in movies. He's in Austin Powers and Goldmember, remember? And but he couldn't appear because of a scheduling conflict.
But he's like, hey, but I allow you to use my likeness.
Yeah. And Johnny Cage is like, I'm fucking out of here. This is bullshit. These fucking goons keep blowing my takes. And the director's like, Johnny, you can't walk off the set. I'm going to be directing traffic.
I love the idea that there's a movie set and then a set of a movie set on the outside. And then if you zoom back one more, there's an actual camera guy, an actual movie set.
Yes.
I love that idea.
But then what if you zoomed out even further?
You'd be in the parking lot.
He goes to his chair, and in his chair is a man reading some tabloids. The tabloids say Johnny Cage is a fake.
And it's just him going like this.
That's his storyline.
His motivation. He's so fucking shallow. They think I'm not really doing this, and it's like, oh, well, you know what you could do. And this guy's fucking special powers. He's a shapeshifter. He only uses it 2 times. Let us just say. So he thinks it's some guy he knows saying, you know, there's this competition. You could really show everyone. Everyone would say how real it is. Everyone who's dead or part of some sort of outer world or who's on this island. These people don't have access to the local tabloids. He should just go on a crowded street in LA and start doing it.
Yeah. Well,
problem solved, Johnny.
Also, aren't you shooting a movie? He says, here's what you do. The boat leaves tomorrow at 4 p.m. out of Pier 40 in Hong Kong. He doesn't ask any more questions.
I'm sure there's only 40 piers in Hong Kong. Yeah. They don't have a fishing community. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 40th one I counted. There's some beautiful fucking places they go. That's real, right?
Yeah, most of the movie was shot in Thailand.
It's gorgeous.
In Thailand, some of the some wasn't filmed in California.
I feel like people aren't in awe of any of it at any point in the movie. They're just like, oh, that's
no. They're like, give me a break.
Pointy. I guess they needed to change the scenery. It's like, you're so fucking cocky that this Outland or whatever it's called outside. What's it called?
Outworld.
Outworld is shit. It's like, you just probably popped in at nighttime. Oh, it's dark here. But you did want some change of scenery.
No wonder they want to come take over. You just might be in a
weird, maybe you're in like the fucking, Detroit of, just kidding.
Yeah, and Raiden tells them like, I'm going to transport you to the castle. It's on the outskirts of Outworld.
Exactly. So you're maybe in the outskirts at night.
You're in the Badlands.
It looks kind of similar to, like a ghost town.
I forgot to, Lacey, the 2021 movie ends right before the tournament starts. The whole movie is them getting to the tournament.
Shut the fuck up. Just because it's the Netflixification of things, everything has to be a part 2.
And they're like, we need to find some more reinforcements. Where are we going to start? And then they just pan over to a poster that's of a movie starring Johnny Cage.
No,
and then the movie
he's not even in it.
He's not even in it.
Oh my God. And these actors, who are these actors?
They're nobodies.
Fucking idiots.
Dumbasses.
Way to not have your goals met. All right, so in my memory, I'm like, oh, look, he's already at the tournament. He just needed a bad dream to make him go. Anyway, I guess he went home. And there's a bunch of monks. It's a beautiful ruins and stuff. And he just walks up to the tallest monk. Luckily, they're in size order. And he says, is that where my brother died? It's like, I don't know. Does that shit look majestic as hell? Yes, your brother died there. I guess he was part of a monkery. And
yes, this is
a monkery.
The temple of some subtitles tell us this is the temple of light in China.
Oh, that's why Ray of Light, Ray Din is the leader is over this particular group of fighters because he is the God of light. Right?
Oh, he's the God of lightning and thunder, of course. Lightning. In this religion. What's this religion? Why it's they're supposed to be Chinese Shaolin monks. Now they named Liu Kang. Liu Kang is named after the famous star of kung fu movies, Gordon Liu, and they originally intended him in the games to be bald, to be dressed in monk's garb.
Okay,
but the actor who was doing the likeness for Liu Kang, because again, in the game it's photographs of actors. He said, "I'm not shaving my head," so instead they remodeled him to look more like Bruce Lee.
Yes,
and they decided his characteristic will be
coiffed hair.
Renegade monk, which is just a great phrase.
He grew out his hair.
I'm a renegade monk.
And I'm not quiet. I wear all my clothes.
He goes and talks to his grandfather. His grandfather's mad for him having abandoned the monkery.
He seems kind of chill.
Well, but he just makes some comments like, television has rotted his brain.
Well, he's here. He took the first fucking flight back over here as soon as he had a bad dream.
His grandfather's telling him about the tournament. And so they know about the tournament.
They've been training for it their whole lives. They all believe in this thing and celebrate this God, the God who's real, who's right here. This one that has lightning eyes and
Liu
you
Kang's
don't believe it.
Oh, you know that's not real.
He's right there with his lightning eyes. No one just has silver hair like that with that hat. Can't get away with that hat.
This kind of reminds me of the Matrix when before, Neo goes into the Matrix, but he knows the phrase the Matrix, and he meets up with Trinity, what is the Matrix? And I've always wanted to know, so wait, what do they think the Matrix is when they're just like hackers? And how do they even find out about it? Don't
blow my mind. I can't think of two fight movies at once.
What do they understand the tournament to be?
Okay, but at least there's some frame of reference for that. It's a tournament. That means you're going to fight, and if you win, you progress. Yeah,
so it's like Liu Kang's like, no, there is a tournament, but it's not going to decide the fate of the world. It's going to determine who gets a medal. I think that's the tension here. But his grandfather's like, no, our whole religion is based around this being the savior of the world. So he gives a speech. He's like, Liu Kang has been selected to represent us in the tournament. He is the chosen one. And
Renegade.
I like how vague this movie can be, but I also am a little annoyed. Like, can we get one sentence of explanation of what that means?
He's
the chosen one. Like, okay.
Raiden chose him?
So he's
Raiden knows him. Which one?
Raiden knows him. He wants to go to the tournament because he knows that the man who killed his brother will be there and he can fight him in the tournament.
He's not ready, Matt.
But the elders reject this reason. No, you fight for mankind, not for yourself or something like that. And then a mysterious...
Well, then why are you sending me a telegram about mankind, Grandpa? You're sending me a telegram about my brother.
Yeah, we're concerned about earthly matters, or aren't we?
He's been sending him telegrams for weeks. All of mankind probably gonna die. Love, Grandpa.
So we hear this.
He probably killed his fucking brother.
Yeah, again, they know Shang Tsung killed him because how? I don't know. Don't worry about it.
He stepped on his back. He fucking broke his spine.
So a mysterious voice off screen leads to,
hey, so you came back, you long-haired freak.
This incredible movie star hero reveal for Christopher Lambert. I mean, it's like it's revealing.
They laid him bare.
It is like how they reveal Indiana Jones. It's like pan up and then the hat comes up. Oh, it's a white guy.
Yes, and what I say is, what the fuck? Fuck is this? This better be the most decrepit, weird old Asian man. It's a fucking elf from Lord of the Rings. What is happening?
All the Shaolin monks start bowing down, and Liu Kang's angry. He's like, Raiden, come on, grandfather,
this fucking guy. But he's at least replying to him the way I'm like, yeah, what this fucking guy?
He says, this isn't your god of thunder and lightning. He's just a beggar.
Beggar? Have they been feeding him?
Bear a nickel. Help a veteran. He says, "Oh, don't tell me you're afraid of a simple beggar." And then Liu Kang like charges at him, but then Raiden just casually flips him over. And then his eyes sparkle with lightning.
He's like, "It is maybe you. I'm still not convinced."
So Liu Kang is like, "If you're so great, why did you let Chan die? Why didn't you protect him? Why didn't you?"
That's not answering the question, my guy. You're the one that's the fucking god of thunder and light, or that's Thor. I thought, but
this is like all the message at the end of the movie is like, if somebody dies, it's their fault.
Yes, we're all responsible for our mortalness.
I mean, it is. Yeah, it's a libertarian movie.
Yes.
Robert Nozick, I think, did a pass on the screenplay, but that's okay. So Liu Kang then marches grumpily off, and Raiden watches him.
I want to go to the fucking
Grandfather
pier.
Kang is like, "That boy is our last hope," and Raiden or something, and that's from Star Wars. He's like,
I like him.
Raiden says, like, "Unfortunately, there's no one else." So they just have to do with Liu Kang, flawed as he is.
Well, I mean, but how pissed is Liu Kang if he finds out, like, hey, the tournament's not here. It's in L.A. Go back where you just came from. He's going to be jet lagged as fuck.
That's true. I guess, no, because he wasn't told to go to Pier 40 in Hong Kong. Also,
Pier 1, and he got a great living room set.
Also, we assume, Hong Kong, China, they're right next to each other. This could be all the way on the other side of China for all we know.
He's got to be tired. He's got to fight.
They go to Pier 40 in Hong Kong.
And you know it's the right pier because of the double dragon boat. Mm-hmm. The rest just a bunch of schooners. Anyway, Johnny Cage is just confidently walking with one bag, but then he ends up having 20. Then he never changes his clothes the entire time he's on the island. So it's all very confusing to me. But anyway.
Well, eventually he just drops his luggage
down
the giant stair. Okay.
He might have paid people. But he sees a guy that he recognizes as a fighter, because I guess he's a real fighter guy. So he knows other fighters. His name is Art something.
Art Lean.
You look like a fighter. You're great. I saw you fight. In what? In a movie? And what were you talking about? I just saw it. You were on the street. I just saw it.
In a fight.
Anyway, but then he turns and sees an Asian person. It's like, you're in a martial arts competition, right? But you turn and you see an Asian man. You're like, take my bags and here's some money. You work at Pier 40, right? This is your pier. Yeah,
so Liu Kang has the appropriate reaction to it.
It's funny, yeah.
He happily takes his money, picks up his luggage, and then throws it in the water, and then looks back at him and just has the most mean-spirited grin. It's so good. It's so funny.
It's so funny. And we're just meeting the gang. We got cocky Johnny. We got I don't want to be here, Lou. We've got Art, who disappears immediately, and then we have pissed off Sonya, and they're all like, "I'm not." But Sonya's still hunting down half a face guy, so she's just Kano. So she just followed him here, and she thinks he's on the boat, so she's like, "Piss off, gentlemen! I'm following him very so stealth. I'm being so stealth right now with my freaking machine gun and my stupid hat."
Yeah, she's like somewhere in the distance scoping it out, and Kano knows that. So Kano
she's like behind
gets on the boat
barrel,
and she's like, "Oh shit, I gotta get Kano!" And then the boat takes off. The boat is like way away from the pier, and she's running after it. Now we don't.
Did you watch the movie again? Mm-hmm. Did you see her run? Pull up a clip right now of her running.
I guess I can't verify. I can't
remember if
she's leisurely.
No, it's worse than the running in the craft. It's worse.
The boat is pulling away. It's like 20 feet out to sea. We don't see her like jumping into the water or swimming or whatever. We then just cut on the boat. And she's on the boat now.
Okay, great. Now they're on the boat. Now they're all going to this thing, and most of them don't want to go, and half of them don't understand what it is. And there's a fucking ton of people that are going to fight. And we get to know none of them. And they all wear the same outfit. So they're not important.
Yeah. But, economy of storytelling. We get it. Our three heroes are together at last. And we know these are the ones we need to keep our eye on. The production design
I'm a little confused about Art Lean, but all right.
They do set up Art Lean like he's going to be a big fucking deal.
And then they have their witty little exchange, him and Lou. And then Art's just fucking gone.
Yeah.
You made a friend. Why? You got a lot of people on that boat? You don't.
But the production design of the boat is so great.
It looks metal.
It looks like Pirates of the Caribbean, The Ride, but in a good way. Mm-hmm. And so our three heroes, they reluctantly team up. And then we meet Shang Tsung.
Yes, like they're really revealing these guys that they're going to fight early. It's strange. It's just like, hey, welcome to this feast. It's time they're on the island now, right?
No, they're still on the boat. They're just walking around the boat. They're like, I gotta find Kano or something. No, I gotta find Shang Tsung. He killed my brother. You're not gonna find him. I'm gonna find him. And then Shang Tsung is like, ooh, yes, the three guys are here. Welcome to my boat. And now you'll meet Scorpion and Sub-Zero, eternal warriors, but now under command as my slaves.
Which they don't explain.
They're about to attack the heroes. Sub-Zero freezes Sonya's gun. Scorpion's CGI thing comes out of his hand, but then Raiden teleports into the room. And he's like, your sideshow freaks attacked my fighters. That is expressly forbidden before the tournament.
Also, okay, so mortal just means you can die. Doesn't mean you're not also someone with magical powers then?
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't realize that. I was like, what are all these non-mortals fighting? This is a Mortal Kombat. Like, oh, they can die. So
right. Well, they are mortals.
Yeah, no, now I understand. I just had a dumb thought of it in my head while we're watching. Like, they're breaking rules. That guy's not normal.
What tournament, Sonya Blaine asks. You've been chosen, Sonya, much to my delight. Shang Tsung, a horny bad guy, also adds another good layer of.
I've got just the dress for you, and I'm gonna blow out that hair, girl.
So here's the thing that's going on: is we got Raiden explains we live in a universe where you've got Earth. You know how you think of Earth as a planet? Well, it's also a realm. Oh, of course, a realm. And then there's also Outworld, which is a different realm.
Different realm.
And Outworld wants to take over Earth, but to do that, here's the thing: it needs to have a 10-game winning streak in the tournament.
But then there's also Subterranean World, right, where the guy with four hands
there's all
comes
kinds
from.
of other realms.
That
yes.
guy came up. All right.
And they've won 9 tournaments in a row.
Where were these tournaments?
If they win the next one, it's all over.
I'm sorry. If Lou is the chosen one, why didn't he just do the first one? And also
these things work on cosmic timescales. It was probably 1,000 years earlier.
Got you. I understand now.
So,
I mean, they set up these characters to look like no human, regular, non-magical person could fight them. So I'm thinking, oh, they won't have to fight those guys. They're going to fight all these other men on the boat. Mortals. I was wrong.
But I love that every time Raiden or Shang Tsung is like, yeah, the universe, your planet might get conquered. They're not like, wait, what? They just accept it. It's nice.
Yeah. I mean, if you got this boat, yeah.
Raiden has looked into all 3 of their souls and he's decided, I don't know which of you, but one of you is going to decide the fate of the tournament.
Your souls are murky.
The fate of billions will depend upon you.
Sorry.
But he doesn't think Liu Kang is ready to win the tournament because all Liu Kang cares about is vengeance.
Dead brother. What a baby.
So they arrive at the island.
Sails on that boat. How they got anywhere at all, I don't know. It's like a crazy old lady in Kansas's like yard art. It looks like it just catches wind every fucking direction.
This boat must
look
exist,
at those sails. They catch every wind.
Yeah, that's why it takes so long.
I don't think you understood my Kansas joke, but it's fine.
Are you talking about Aunt Meg's things?
Stuff.
Yes, I did understand it. After thinking about it. Yes, I got it, love. Good job. They arrive at the island, and the rules of physics don't seem to apply. Sonya's phone doesn't work anymore, and her compass is scrambled.
And Lou knows that she's wearing a compass under her watch.
Check your compass. She's like, wow, it's going all kinds of directions. And Johnny Cage is like, what's going on? And Liu Kang says, I don't know, but what if all the legends were true? And then he walks off, and Johnny Cage says, what legends?
Right, yes. I do appreciate that they each at one point or another stand in for the audience of like, what are you talking about? Also, Sonya, when you get up to a majestic magical island and your first fucking thing is that you litter it, that phone's gonna last for eternity. Just put the phone in your bag. It might work when you get back off of this islandness.
Just ugly Americans. Doesn't matter where they go.
I think she owns the place, and her legs are weird. They don't touch.
So you said that. What does that mean?
They don't touch. There's just a gap right between them.
Are legs supposed to touch? Is that a beauty standard?
All of our legs touch, Matt. I'm saying humans, their thighs touch. Children have legs that don't touch. She's just like vagina stick.
I get it. Is kind of weird.
It is strange.
All right. I don't want to know these things. You point them out to me and then I can't unsee them.
I can't wait for you to see
I didn't know about your lobes until you pointed them out to me, and now it's all I see.
Lobes.
No, it sucks to be you. You smell things. People's faces look weird. It's hell. I
have thoughts. And I'm going to tell you about it later off air. We're on the air right now.
We pass by Princess Katana. She's just sitting under an umbrella observing. And Shang Tsung says,
10,000 years old.
Princess Katana, our most dangerous adversary. And Shang Tsung gives a speech. There's this great banquet, and he's hyping up Goro, and he's like, just wait till you see fucking Goro. But now let's get a preview of coming attractions.
I'm going to flip the tables, the meal that I cooked and then gave you all. You're not done eating, and we could just scoot these to the side. We have people with muscles. They just flip that table.
Flip it over. So a fighter comes out to face Sub-Zero, and this fighter, he does a really impressive display, and Sub-Zero's like, whatever, freeze. And Shang Tsung announces flawless victory because that's what they say in the game. So they're incorporating stuff from the game into the movie.
They even do, you know how when you don't know what you're doing, you just kick.
Yeah.
And punch. There's 2 different times in the movie where they incorporate that into the movie where you're like, that is a weird sequence. And then I'm like, oh, because people just spam the button. There's 2 times it's Liu Kang both times.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was on purpose, but that's what it read to me.
Liu Kang, he's like, I'm going after Shang Tsung. He went that way, so I'm going to follow him. And then Johnny Cage and Sonya are like, I'm going too because I got my own reasons. What are your reasons? It doesn't matter.
We're best friends. Okay, I hope you never die.
And Sonya's like, but no, I don't want you to come because I work alone.
But I was already walking this way.
She wants to get to the bottom of what's going on. She saw, there's sort of an abandoned thread early in the movie where they're like, hey, we just saw like a lightning guy and a freeze guy and a snake guy. And Sonya's like, it's all parlor tricks. And she just saw a guy get frozen and she's like, I want to figure out what's going on. But then they abandoned this idea that she's got to get to the bottom. She's Dana Scully of Mortal Kombat. So they go to this other hall where Kano is eating a most grand feast of bird meat. Now, I still think of this whenever I eat a rotisserie chicken. Just beautiful, beautiful leg.
You should stick a stick in the rotisserie chickens we get. It's about the right size. Just the whole chicken on a stick. That would get you. Have you ever had a turkey leg at the Renaissance Festival? You've never been to the Renaissance? You think
no, but they have them at Disney World, but I've never had one.
Well, but you think you want one, and then you're like, that's just a lot of turkey.
I have heard people say that
you
think you want it until you start eating it. I'm like, what am I doing with this?
It's just a lot.
But you know what I think when I hear that? Watch me. Watch me, yeah.
Mm.
So across the hall is Goro, a wonderful looking puppet.
He is.
Thank you. And Kano is like, Shang Tsung, I say. And Goro gets mad because he really admires Shang Tsung.
I like him. He's my master. I won his contest. Don't be mean. Is that how he sounds?
Don't be mean.
Hulk smash.
So Shang Tsung then comes into the room and Kano's like, when am I going to get paid? When am I going to get paid? And Shang Tsung's like, after you fight with Sonya.
Well, you just I had to fight. You didn't?
Don't harm her. There's plans. We got plans in motion.
But all the plan just seems to be he's got an outfit.
Yeah.
He just wants to bone. It's like you could have sex with lots of people. Do they all need to know how to fight though? It's a sex fight.
I don't even know if his plan is he wants to dress her up. It's like I need her to lure him to lure someone else. I don't
think so.
Shang Tsung warns Goro, the descendant of Kung Lao, Liu Kang, is in attendance at the tournament. You got to be really careful, especially if he joins forces with Princess Katana, the Emperor's adopted daughter.
This exposition is most helpful.
And the 3 heroes are watching all of this from the side. They're like 10 feet away.
From like a perfect little perch. It looks like the box prestige seating at a theater.
Yeah. And Johnny Cage says to Liu Kang, what's so special about you?
I like that his answer is,
I don't know.
I mean, my fists are registered weapons.
They try getting out of this temple or whatever, but they get lost. But then they see Princess Katana.
Candles.
She has a torch and she's attempting to lead them out, but it doesn't work. So they're following Princess Katana, and Johnny Cage is like, why are you following her? You want to go on a date with her or something? And he's like, I think she's trying to help us. Will you forget about her? She's 10,000 years old. And Liu Kang says, so what? But then he gets attacked by Reptile, who then
That
escapes.
is the most out-of-pocket thing in this movie. Is that even a thing in the Mortal Kombat game, this random reptile?
Well, of course, Reptile is a fighter. He looks just like Sub-Zero and Scorpion. I don't think they have the backstory that he can turn into a real lizard.
It's his only power. So, I mean, if it isn't what he does, then I don't see how he's special at all. Sub-Zero is obvious. The other guy with the thingy is obvious.
He can spit venom or something.
Can he?
Yeah. So in the first game, he is a hidden character, so it was always exciting.
Oh, wait, okay, because he's hot. I mean, in this movie, the gecko can hide.
they're trying to get out of the temple, back to the other temple, but they keep going around in circles and they end up back where they started. But now this banquet hall is empty, and then all these thugs come out and techno music starts. And our three heroes are like, it's time to fight. So they fight them and they easily dispatch them. This is the first time we get to see our three heroes in action, and it's very well filmed. And Robin Shue is great, and Lyndon Ashby is very good, and Bridget Wilson's obviously the one you have to cut around.
Yes, it's rough, but then it's over, so that's good.
And then it's over, and then the scene's over, and we go to another scene.
Okay, but we get to see sneaky little Raiden.
Yeah.
He just appears on a perch, and because more fighters are coming, and he's wait, those fighters aren't permitted to come kick these people's ass, but that other group was.
I don't.
What is happening?
Nothing. No.
Save it for the island.
So they leave this, and Raiden's like, I'm going to give more information to you now. Okay. Shang Tsung is a past champion, and this is going to kill my voice. Shang Tsung is a past champion, and he might fight in the tournament, and he can fight whoever he chooses. Also, he's more dangerous even than Goro.
In a setting of his choice. It's like, okay, because we're going to need that final setting, or we're going to complete the set.
I choose airport hangar.
I choose my house and my bedroom. And then he runs, and he's like in another dimension, and he's like, damn it.
That's the thing that happens in the new movie. The final fights, there's several that happen simultaneously, and it's like, they can happen wherever we want. One of them happens in my house. Another one happens in a boxing ring.
Then why did we come to the island?
So, yeah, he's even more dangerous than Goro. How can that be? And I think that's a good, neat little echo of the game where you're like, well, nobody could be tougher than Goro. No, just wait till you fight Shang Tsung. But he's just a guy. Or
is he?
The tournament begins.
And you start, and they're in just like an area on the beach that's mapped out for a fight with people observing it. And you're like, this makes sense. This sure does look like a tournament. So we get to really see Liu Kang do his thing. Ooh. And you got Sonya on the beach there, and you got someone else. I don't know. There's people watching, but for some reason, fucking Johnny Cage is not there, but we'll figure that out later.
This is the section of the movie where it's the most video gamey. It's just fight after fight after fight.
Fight. Yes. And it just gets boring because you know that every time they move to a new place, they're going to shoehorn in some dialogue, and they're trying to build some kind of storytelling, but it's like, but then they just immediately go to another fight scene, and it's like, just do one or the other. You're not doing either one of them particularly well. I mean, the fight scenes they're good.
They're all good. Even the Sonya Kano fight. And Kano is the actor who plays Kano is Trevor Goddard. He is so much fun. He also understands the assignment.
Yes.
Just be the biggest slime ball. But sound like this, oh, Sonya.
I do like Sonya's cut off shorts here. I like her fight scene fine. It was much better than I thought it would be. The bewildering forest fight that seems like a dream and not real, but then the guy does a cartwheel well, Johnny Cage is like, did that really fucking happen? What the hell? And then he's looking back in the trees, and all of a sudden you see Scorpion go, weird.
Cartwheels in.
It's like that man had one move, and they needed it to be special.
Watch me. No, this guy's really good.
Because
they get transported into this hell world of wooden planks, and I think it's probably the best individual fight sequence in the movie. These two actors are very, very impressive. And when you face one of the ninja guys with the mask, you can just get a legit martial artist and Johnny Lyndon Ashby said the guy who plays Scorpion is his actual martial arts teacher.
Yes, he's good. Yes, and they do fun flips, and they get up on top of things for reasons, and
the new metal on the soundtrack is going nuts. But again, there's something kind of unsatisfying about just watching video game levels.
Yeah.
But Johnny Cage beats him with a saw shield, and then Scorpion turns into a skeleton. Oh, and then, how does Johnny get out of this hell world? So I typed in, how does Johnny Cage, and Google autofilled, get out of the weird layer?
Well, yeah, because he jumps into his hole on accident by doing a flying kick. So that was but then you kill the guy, and now he can't make his little wormhole. So
the explanation I saw was, Scorpion created this layer, so once he dies, it goes away, and you just go back to the forest.
It didn't. Okay. They're all winning their fights appropriately. Then a very half-hearted fight with Princess Katana happens, where where this is when she decides to talk to him about how she's going to help him. Like,
and this is a fight where it's not to the death.
Well, because that's why the main guy gets upset because she's not doing it right. One of you has to die. You're not doing it right. And she, I don't know, Princess Katana for some reason has to participate in this. I don't even know why. Yeah. She's royalty. And I guess she doesn't have to participate in it because she's just like, fuck you. And she walks off after she gives the fucking Liu Kang a riddle during the fight of, in your next fight, use the source of life.
Use the element which brings life.
It's like, what? I'm staring at your tits right now. I can't.
Sperm?
What? Right. And, is that an element?
Egg?
Is that on the chart?
I choose egg.
Right. Well, okay. So he's supposed to remember that. And then during the actual fight, she's just like, use the element for it's the bucket.
No,
Kang.
that's
it's
him remembering her saying
bucket.
that.
Okay.
Because we immediately, in my memory, his fight with Sub-Zero is like much later in the movie and it's like a callback. But no, it's the next scene.
She said it's the next fight.
To win your next fight. So it's now him fighting against Sub-Zero. How's he going to defeat Sub-Zero?
Apparently, what you can't do if you can freeze things is deal with water.
Yeah.
Seems like that's the only thing you need, but all right.
Because he's kind of struggling against Sub-Zero, but then he looks to his right and sees Katana and she nods at him and in the voiceover. Use the element which brings light. He's like, the element that brings light. Life. Use the element which brings life. Huh. Water. And there's
the only other thing on the stage.
Big old bucket of water right there.
Does bucket bring life?
I love the way he twirls this bucket around.
I do. I would have just picked it up and gone, but he was like, yeah. You can't help but use martial arts.
And so what happens is the water in mass hurtles towards Sub-Zero, then freezes and forms into the shape of a giant spear and spears him, kills him good.
Kills him with his own batard.
So, of course, now Liu Kang is learning. He's learning that you need to
work with others.
Yes, there you go. That's what you need.
That you have to earn buckets to get off the island.
Like, truly, you could have added 2 minutes to this movie and make the hero's journey of Liu Kang and specifically
just more rewarding.
Just have a little more depth to it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I like that he starts off, he's doing the classic refusal of the call, and he's just being an asshole, and then that kind of goes away.
Renegade monk. He just shaves his head at the end. I am actual monk. Stops
I'm
talking to everyone.
So Shang Tsung, he's a little unhappy with how well the heroes are doing. So he goes to Goro and says, it's time. And we get a very long montage of Goro just dropping people onto rocks.
Is that who was doing it?
Yes.
Because they cut to Art Lane and it's like, is it him? Edited. Is it? And I feel like gratified whenever Johnny Cage's move is like just punches him in the dick, because every scene where Goro's in it, all I can see is it looks like he's got his dick out, because it's just a weird belt that they have on him, and it's in a place where it's like that's right on top of his dick. It's not in the belt spot, so it just looks like this golden dick sticking out of this crazy looking thing. So I'm like, okay, I wasn't the only one distracted by this. No. Clearly, Johnny Cage needed to call some attention to it.
All of this is building up to our best friend in the world, Art Lean. He's going up against Goro.
We haven't seen him since the pier, and we hope he's okay.
All of the island is there, and they're all cheering their friend Art on, and you hear Sonya say, "Use the kick."
Kick. B B B B B A B A B A B A B.
But Goro very easily defeats Art, and then Shang Tsung takes his soul. And afterwards, the heroes are talking to Raiden, and he's like, listen, I know it seems like you'll never be able to win. You'll never be able to beat Goro, but you totally can. You have everything you need. All you need is to not like have fear or something. And Johnny Cage is like, okay, this means I need to challenge Goro because I'm afraid of Goro. Therefore, I must confront Goro. And then we have the scene with Johnny and Sonya on the beach in the sun, in the sunset. She's like, you can't do it. He's like, but I gotta
because I can't let them do that to you. And she's just like,
I can't lose you. So Johnny goes up to Shang Tsung and he's like, I want to challenge Goro. And Shang Tsung's like, I don't know about that. He's like, you gotta let me.
I really wanna. I already said it.
Says, well, if you do, then here's what I want in exchange. I then have the right to enter the tournament.
I call bullshit on this, because it's like, wait, I'm saying I want to fight your guy. I want to fight your big guy. Let me fight your big guy. You want to watch me fight him, right? He's going to kill all of us anyway. I would like to go next. Okay, fine. I'll let you die. But in exchange, it's like, wait, this is your tournament. You can just pick. You can fight whenever you want, and you can pick the place. No one is stopping you from doing that.
Yeah, we'd even been told earlier.
What are you talking
as the
about?
previous winner, he has the right to.
Like, we know. You didn't have to ask this in exchange for Johnny offering to die next.
They shake hands, and then Raiden drops in. He's like, Johnny, no! But a deal is a deal. But then when Johnny and Shang Tsung walk away, Christopher Lambert like winks at the camera, and he's like, it's all going according to my plan. So,
Sorry.
The fight with Goro, I love it. And
I like it too.
I've seen this movie a million times. I'm 37 years old and now actually realized what's actually going on here. So, and the script could have done a little better job making Johnny Cage more of a character. So you can see, you kind of have to fill in the blanks. So in his head, he's seen all these people go up against Goro and lose, being martial artists. And Johnny Cage is like, everybody thinks I'm just a Hollywood phony, but I'm a real martial artist. I know how I'll beat Goro by being a movie star. Because he goes in with his sunglasses. Yeah. Goro takes his sunglasses from him, crushes him.
Rude.
They start the fight. Johnny says a cool movie star line. He's like, let's dance. And then immediately does a split down and punches Goro in his giant balls. Yeah.
In his puppet dick.
So it's like, no, I can't beat him by being a badass martial artist. Right. I have to use Hollywood magic. So, which means kick him in the dick. So he runs off to the edge of the cliff. And
everyone's going by the book. Everyone's a trained martial artist, and they're they're doing above the belt stuff. Not me.
Yeah.
Right in the dick.
So he runs to the edge of the cliff, and Goro chases him. And Johnny says, those are $500 sunglasses, asshole. And when I saw the word asshole as a kid, I was like, oh my God. What's happening to me?
That's where we poop from.
Yeah, and he says it to him like he's a goddamn movie star. And like, why wasn't Lyndon Ashby in every movie after this?
They've really built up this Goro fight for the whole movie. Like, oh God, this is going to be so hard. And then when I see he just runs to a edge of a rock thing and then hides, I'm like, oh my God, I would love it if he just runs straight off. So they almost do that. I mean, it's still a pretty easy victory, but I just wish he would just like,
He just like kicks him a little bit.
And then Goro
is dangling off the side, and Johnny says, this is where you fall down.
He could have just let the guy run all the way off just immediately and then went, good job falling down. Yeah. And that'd been fine. That'd have been a good old callback. But it's satisfying.
It is very impressive what they're able to do with the puppet. Obviously, this puppet can't actually move that much. So how do you even have a fight sequence with him? You can't. The CGI Goro in 2021 looks fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
So bad. Like, badly designed. No weight whatsoever. This is a real object interacting with a real person. So Shang Tsung is like, no, Goro, oh my God. So he gets mad and he kidnaps Sonya and whisks her away to Outworld. He's like, I'm invoking my right because you made a deal with me. I challenge Sonya Blade at the place of my choosing, and I choose Outworld.
Who put that outfit? Who dressed her? Who took her clothes off and then put clothes on her?
He did. What do you mean?
She was sexually assaulted in a children's movie.
He's not a good guy.
He's not. Now they get to the piece of shit Outworld.
Wait, hold on. You're going too fast.
Oh, it says Outworld, so I just thought.
Raiden is with Johnny Cage and Liu Kang, and he's like, there's that portal. That portal will take you to Outworld, but I can't follow you. I'm not allowed there or something. But guys, even though it seems like Johnny Cage is the one who just did the big significant character growth and beat the big bad, Liu Kang, you're the chosen one. I have nothing more to teach you. You know all that you need. Now go. And so they jump through the portal, and it's just like a Hollywood backlot of torches and statues. But the statues are toppled over rather than being upright.
That's just a piece of shit area. Just a terrible outward world here in the Badlands of it.
It's like an evolution when they find the lab covered in all the alien growth, and Orlando Jones is like, it looks like my apartment in college.
Yeah. Okay. You're saying something underwhelming, and I don't know.
And I think Johnny Cage is like, this place sucks, you know? All these, it's gross, and all these people want to beat me up. It's like high school all over.
Okay, all right. Johnny Cage, calm down.
They move toward the tower, but they are confronted by Reptile. And Reptile is the worst CGI creation in the movie. But then it inhabits a skeleton and turns into a human. And so the Reptile v. Liu Kang fight begins. I think it would be more interesting if Johnny Cage also participated.
Yes.
But instead he just gets left like in the hall and they go have their fight. Just because narratively, like, you're building to Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung 1-on-1, but Liu Kang beats Reptile here, and it's like, I don't know. It'd be cool if he had to team up with Johnny Cage, meaning at the end, it's like, it's scary that he has to go up by himself.
Right.
But Liu Kang, I mean, the movie is building like the video game builds, except that Goro is the second to last boss. Reptile is like the third to last boss, then Goro, then Shang Tsung. But this is another great fight with Robin Shu, and you can just have a legit fighter be the guy in the ninja suit. Liu Kang defeats him with a bicycle kick. That's where you go in there and you go like, do, 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 do.
That's not real though, right? You can't actually go in the air and kick someone that much. You'd fall backward the first kick. That's not how motion works.
Turn to Google. Can you really do a bicycle kick?
Did you make up the word for it? Did you make it up?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Do, 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 do.
I see it. I see the vision.
I didn't make it up. Do, 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 do. So what happens next?
It's the big time, baby. We see Sonya, and she's been put in a very dated outfit. She looks like Xena Warrior Princess, and they teased her hair, and he tied her up, and her friends are gonna come get her. Well, you see a whole bunch of people in robes, and you can't see their faces. It's like, how would you smuggle my friends in here? This is perfect.
But I gotta have my druid priest.
Yeah. So I don't know, man.
They run it. Liu Kang and Johnny Cage are making their way to the tower, and they run into Katana. Oh, you seem to always be near us. And she's like, yeah. Let's go to the tower. Here's the thing.
I don't remember Katana.
She's not. She's very forgettable. She explains. You know how it looks like shit right now? Well, it used to be beautiful.
Right.
Earthrealm will look like this if Outworld wins the tournament, so you can't let that happen. Also, my dad used to be the rightful ruler of Outworld, but then the Emperor. They keep talking about the Emperor.
Yeah, bro, they never show him, right? And at the end of the movie, he's this big hologram in the sky, and it's like, I'll bet that's like the fucking Wizard of Oz, but he's this big, and that's just a big fucking projection of him.
It is kind of Star Wars in that the first movie, you're like, well, Darth Vader, no one could be more scarier than him. But you're like, no, Darth Vader works for the Emperor.
There's a blob in the sky you haven't seen. Oh.
They get to the tower. Sonya is in her slave Leia attire. The druid priests come in, but three of them are the heroes. What?
My friends, my best friends. And Sonya says that, not Sonya, Katana says you'll have to face your worst fear, your worst enemy, yourself. She says three things.
You got to face the three challenges. Number one, druid priest.
Spiky swords.
Number two, spikes. Number three, yourself.
Which you're like, it's gonna be his brother. His brother's his self. Okay.
Number two,
his worst fear. His worst fear being, I killed as my fault that my brother died. No, it's not. He was responsible for his mortality. And then
you got it. That's what happens.
You finally figured it. And that's it. Fights off. He learned his lesson, everybody.
Shang Tsung sees them and he's like, tells his minions, he's like, kill them. But Katana's like, no. There's rules, I think.
Why does he keep breaking them?
Because he does things his own way.
He's sneaky.
And Shang Tsung says, fine, I challenge Johnny Cage. And then Liu Kang steps in and says, no, you're going to fight me.
What are the rules?
I am Liu Kang, descendant of Kung Lao. I challenge you to Mortal Kombat. Do you accept or yield?
How does he know all the rules all of a sudden?
And it is a good fight. And Shang Tsung has been built up all movie. Just like the video game, it satisfies why you should be scared of him. And the fight, it tells a good story because in the fight, Liu Kang immediately shows Shang Tsung I'm a better fighter than you thought I was.
Shang Tsung is just not used to getting hit. So when he is hit, it bothers him much more than these fighters who are used to actual combat.
So he's like, okay, well, I got to use trickery. So he summons his warriors.
Like 20
from hell.
guys. Like fucking, he's been sucking souls for years, but he just brings like 20 guys.
Yeah. But Liu Kang beats all of them pretty easily.
Yeah, because they only come at him one at a time. It's real nice.
So Liu Kang chases down Shang Tsung, and Shang Tsung turns into his brother Chan. And Chan is like, I forgive you for letting me die. And Liu's like, whoa. I never said I let you die. I said I feel some guilt, but you're not my brother after all. Everyone's responsible for themselves. The chaotic universe, Hobbesian, nasty, brutish, thuggish, short. Then he turns back into Shang Tsung. He's like, fucking your soul is mine. They start fighting some more.
Gimme.
And this is the stage in the fight, like when Neo realizes he can beat Agent Smith, and now he just casually starts putting up one hand. This is the stage when the hero realizes, I've conquered the enemy.
And I've got magical powers, it seems like, because he does a little ooh at the end.
That's what he does. But first he says, it's over, buddy. Surrender. Just go ahead. It's okay.
Right.
And Shang Tsung's like, no, I refuse. So Liu Kang does his fireball.
Ooh.
And that's cool because that's like the main thing Liu Kang does in the video game. So you're watching the movie thinking, when's he going to do a fireball? And he does it.
He's the one. He's the one with the fireball.
And Shang Tsung falls down onto a
fireball. In that shot?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then all the souls come out of Shang Tsung's body. Thank you, Liu Kang.
And his brother goes, bye. I'll be watching you.
I'll see you soon.
Wait, how soon? I don't know. And then they all come walking out, like just looking kind of normal, just buddies, hugging, real, like we did it. And then the fucking gargoyle in the sky pops up and goes, what about me?
They all reunite at the Temple of Light in China, like for some reason.
What?
Yeah, because Raiden is waiting for them there. Like, you couldn't have been waiting for them on the island, but this is where they are. It's like, you guys.
Why didn't Sonya change her clothes? I mean, why didn't Princess Katana put on something normal then?
Because she's not of Earthrealm. She's of Outworld. She doesn't know what to dress in. And Sonya couldn't have helped her.
I'm sorry.
And he like puts his arms around her and is like, you guys are my best friends. And they're all very happy. And then immediately the scar darkens. And CGI Emperor. Who is that? The Emperor. They don't say Shao Kahn, of course, is
Shao
the
Kahn.
Emperor.
And they're not like, come on, we just wanted to have margaritas and chill. And they're both just go to get in their fight stance.
Pathetic fools, I've come for your souls.
Well, I'm going to fight you, Cloud Daddy. Like, where they
Raiden then says his catchphrase, I don't think so. And his eyes do lightning. And then they all strike fighting pose, and that's the end of the movie. That's the movie.
I like that it doesn't go any further than that.
Yes, this is the movie orgasming on your face. Like,
okay.
Yeah, it knows what it's...
You gotta have fun! There it goes. You always tell me I don't give low enough ratings, so I was going to exercise that right.
Stop using the mouse.
I was trying to get rid of this thing.
What are our final thoughts and star ratings for Mortal Kombat 1995? What did I do?
Stop using the thing. You only use the mouse.
Lacey has a mouse and she keeps using it, but she's not supposed to use it.
I'm supposed to use my rat.
It's fine.
Okay, so... yeah, it's just not for me. I get it. It's fun. The fight sequences are just a bit too long. The characters are very hokey, and I think if you didn't grow up with it, that it can't have that little warm spot in your heart. You can't forgive it of all its little flaws, so I give it a 2.
That is too mean to this movie.
Why can't I just live my life over here?
Fine, you can live your life over there.
You also were saying I don't go low enough on things.
You're only supposed to do that with your own movies. With my movies, you're supposed to be generous. No, it's fine. I think this movie is a lot of fun. I feel like the first 30 minutes are incredible, impeccable, just cheesy fun. I think the final sequence is also a lot of fun. And the fight sequences in between are very solidly done.
Yes.
You can tell this movie was rushed, didn't have a good script, and they just kind of tried to figure it out as they went, but left out the part where you are supposed to care. Still, there's so much fun about it. I'm teetering between a 3 and a 3.5. I think I will go with the 3.5 because I've seen how
You're
difficult.
Trying to make up for mine.
I've seen how, having watched the Street Fighter movie and the remake of Mortal Kombat, like this is a surprisingly difficult thing to do, and this movie does about as good of a job as you can do. I think Anderson does a great job directing. I think the performances are all really good except for Bridget Wilson, who's fine, and but you know.
It would have helped if I'd known they were all doing all their shit. I knew one of them was. I didn't know all of them were.
Lambert is great. The guy who plays Shang Tsung, I forgot his name. I'm sorry. Is my favorite performance in the movie. Robin Shou is great. Lyndon Ashby's great. Good stuff all around. Also, the music, the score, the techno song. You can't get better than this.
Okay.
Except you can.
You never listen to techno music, so I don't know what you're talking about.
No. I don't want to listen to it, but when I hear it, I think, oh hell yeah. Do. So what's up? What's next? What are we doing next?
Yay, baby boom. I love when it's my movies. Yay, I love a Diane Keaton.
What is this movie?
It is a movie about a woman who leaves the rat race of the city because she gets a baby and finds another way to make a living in the country.
Scintillating.
It's so good.
This is a Charles Shire, Nancy Myers joint. He directed it. She wrote it. Yeah. So I look forward to this. Don't know anything about this movie. I'm sure it's good.
It is.
Please check out our Patreon Load-Bearing Beams Collector's Edition. We have a review of the first season of Severance out now. This episode releases the Mortal Kombat episode releases January 17th when the new season of Severance begins. You can prepare for that by listening to our episode.
A great recap where we recap nothing, but tell you how much it rocks.
We recapped a lot. Also, the vibes were a lot more relaxed because we weren't on camera, I think.
Yeah. Were we relaxed?
It has a slightly chiller vibe.
I was really tired, so maybe that's the vibe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Tell a friend about our podcast, please. We would appreciate it. Give us a review. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Load Bearing Beams Pod. Follow me on Letterboxd at MattStokes9. Follow Lacey on Letterboxd at Loadbearing Lacey. And listen to my music by my band Rural Route 9.
Okay.
On Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your music. Our album is called The Joy of Averages, and we do the music for the show, Load Bearing Beams, including the song you're hearing right now.
Okay, I love you. Goodbye.
Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage, Kano, Raiden, Princess Katana, don't forget Goro. We once were strangers, then we came to this isle. For what we've been through, we'll be friends for a while. It's been a lovely tournament, we've all won a few fights. And now, Shang Tsung, your soul is mine. So take the Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Reptile. If we don't beat them soon, we'll be here for a while. Go eat with Kano. On bird legs you'll dine. Punch Goro in the dick and run for your life. It's been a lovely tournament, we've all won a few fights. And now, Shang Tsung, your soul is mine. It's been a lovely tournament, we've all won a few fights. And now, Shang Tsung, your soul is mine. Your soul is love and friendship.